Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live, talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to lynn@pghcitypaper.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
Yeah, that's me. C'est moi. I wanted to say c'est moi because I just saw that Donald Trump tweeted in all capital letters, "Make France great again." Oh, dear. All right, well, it's Tuesday. So that means Susan's here. Susan, hey.
Good morning.
Good. Oh, your voice sounds authoritative and not scratchy. You don't sound... What happened?
That was my best imitation of our father.
I know it was. I heard it. I sat right up. I did. I mean, people can attest to it.
That was the voice that I used in boardrooms on Wall Street.
I know.
When I was 26 years old and trying to make myself believable.
Yeah, right. I know. Yes. That's
slow.
Funny. That's funny.
Deliberate, commanding attention.
Of course, it helped that he was 6'2" and, sort of I don't know. It was that voice.
He was an imposing figure, right?
He was an imposing figure, but it was the voice.
Right, and I was 5'6", and I actually think I weighed 105 at the time.
Oh, my God. All right, well.
So it was a sight gag at the very least, anyway.
Yeah. So you haven't been, we haven't talked to you since the horrors of the weekend, but then that's always the case. So if there's anything in particular that you need to get off your chest, feel free. Hey, I found out some. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't give you a chance.
Apparently not. Yes, you found what?
No, that's okay. Were you about to say something? No.
Absolutely not.
Okay. So I happened to be at a dinner last night, and I was with, Tony. You know Tony, my friend Tony. She had just gotten back from a trip to Italy where she was, it was a cooking trip where you'd go off and, look at wineries, and you'd cook with the stuff, then you'd cook here, you'd cook there. I don't know. But I just...
Sounds fun to me.
Yeah,
but
I know it would. But
okay.
So she just... and you probably already know this, but I did not, and I'm just passing it on to... I thought, wow, I didn't know that. Olive oil. I just want to... not Popeye's girlfriend. Olive oil. There are so many kinds.
I import mine from one place in New York that gets it from the one vineyard in Sicily that makes the most delicious olive oil. I buy it by the case every fall after the first press. What are you going to tell me?
F you. That's what I'm going to tell you. And I buy...
Haven't I ever given you a bottle of my olive oil?
No, you haven't. And I buy, like, the Giant Eagle generic...
Okay, well,
extra virgin.
I'm not.
Extra
Okay,
virgin.
This stuff actually tastes like tomatoes.
Yeah,
and it's not infused with anything. It's just so fruity that it tastes like tomatoes. So it's wonderful to dip. You understand why olive oil makes it has taste. It has flavor.
Oh yes,
it can be
yes.
Buttery.
So the real expensive.
Fruity.
You don't have to. So you wouldn't cook with that necessarily. Because you would save
I do.
it for...
Well, when I cook, the way I cook with it is if I am, for example, making pasta.
There goes your voice.
At the very end, I will put in this olive oil, but I would never heat it to, hot.
Yeah,
no,
well, you know,
because
you shouldn't.
You could drink it.
Okay. Well, here's all I wanted to say about olive oil. She was told that when you see olive oil and it says product of Italy, it isn't. Okay.
No, mostly not anymore because the groves aren't there.
Well, no, that's not it. This is a way of getting around. It's a legalism. It's product of Italy. So something happens in Italy. Maybe it passes through from someplace else. If it's really Italian,
their olives anywhere.
If it's really Italian olive oil, it says made in Italy. Okay?
Right.
So I didn't know that. That's okay. Made in Italy.
Yeah.
That's what you want, or made in Greece if that's what you want. But product of don't mean Okay, just
right.
say.
And if you really get into it, you have to parse it further, because they'll, if something claims that it's 100% from a certain place, the people who know these things will start posting critiques. No, they've actually sourced their olives, all over. But I'm not that kind of a snob. I was introduced to this particular Sicilian olive oil because I knew people that owned a home. They were first-generation Americans, and they still had the family home in Sicily with adjacent olive groves. And this was the olive oil of the region.
Uh-huh.
And they were actually the ones that found the one place in New York that imports it.
All right. Well, so cool. You got a case. You owe me a bottle.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll bring you a bottle at Thanksgiving.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
But you'll have to check your luggage.
Then don't bring it. There goes the bottle again. I cannot get this bottle. Can't. Shoot.
I'll mail you one.
All right. So, here, just trying to get back into some. I'm
trying not to talk about anything.
Well, it's not gonna. That's not. It's not necessarily. We're not going to be able to do that. But I wanted to note, because I failed to yesterday. I want to breathe a very public sigh of relief and say yes, victory, because Amazon didn't pick Pittsburgh. Yay! Oh, dodged a bullet there. Or maybe not. Maybe they were just playing all these poor cities who spent so much energy.
Well, that's the theory, that they were just, that they never intended, any of this. They were just, it was all to create buzz, free advertising, stir, and then, of course, it gets the best deal for them where they were going to go anyway.
And that they probably already knew that they weren't going to do just one. They were going to split it two.
Well, they knew. I mean, all you have to do is look at what happens in cities. We were talking about this, like Portland, where they move in and they so upset the whole infrastructure that it becomes impossible to live there. There aren't any rents. There are homeless people. There are, who shouldn't be homeless. It's because there aren't any homes. Yeah,
they can afford. No, I know. That's why I didn't want them. We already got enough of that going on here, frankly. And
they're already talking about how the only people that are happy in these cities are the moneyed people.
Right.
Everybody else is going to be the ones that now won't have housing, won't have, that sort of stuff.
So, never mind, go away, thank God. Whew.
Right.
I know the
problem's only half as big, but it's visited on two cities.
Yeah, right. They can have it.
This same thing happened in Wisconsin with Foxconn. They sell the whole thing with 50,000 jobs, and then when it's time to fill the 50,000 jobs, Foxconn says,
we got to bring them in from
Susan. There aren't 50,000 people in the United States that can fill these jobs, so we're going to bring them in from China.
Susan.
We've had this conversation, too. Yeah.
Susan, you've been hanging around Mom too long. You're repeating yourself. You said that on Friday.
Well, I'm just saying this is happening all over.
I know.
Yes, I am. I'm sorry. I am addled. I'm hanging around with – you're right. My daughter says the same thing. Now I'm scared.
Oh, really? She says you're repeating yourself. You are. Are you in Green Bay still?
No.
No, I didn't think so. Okay. So I just want to say that about Amazon. Tom has sent this from Austin, Texas, and it's wonderful. There are so many. He was a horrible man, H.L. Mencken, but what us. Boy, a seer. H.L. Mencken wrote this about 100 years ago, okay? 1920. On some great and glorious day, the plain folks of the land will reach their heart's desire at last, and the White House will be occupied by a downright fool and a complete narcissistic moron. Those are the words of H.L. Mencken. Nailed it. It. He wrote something else about how, there was another great quote about how, again, looking down on the on the regular people, the hoi polloi, right? Where he says that they'll get the president they deserve, something like that. Bill wants to know. He says, Susan, you left us hanging. What the hell's the name? He didn't say hell. What's the name of the olive oil? I'm going to New York.
I was hoping nobody would ask. The name of the olive oil is Letizia, Letizia. Let me go and look at the bottle and make sure that I'm saying that correctly.
Letizia. Mine is easier to spell. Giant Eagle.
Yeah, that's it. Letizia.
Okay, you got it. But you said there's only one place that has it? What's the place?
Well, I've only found it at one place, Alda Gourmet, ALDA. I think that's it. Just Google Letizia. It'll come up.
All right, enough on the olive oil. I'm sorry I even brought it up.
Yeah, I don't want to tell you. There isn't that much.
All right. Jeez. Okay, we want to avoid things. Here, this was on Wall Street Journal today, and it makes me puke. A lot of places that have young employees do not observe take your children to work day because, well, they don't have any. But they're now doing something else.
Take your parents to work day?
That is correct. I'm glad you're laughing. I almost puked.
I'm not laughing. This is me crying.
Okay. Well, this is what it says. Here's the chief executive of a Minneapolis-based creative agency that is hosting these kinds of events. The workplace is the new soccer field for parents who want to see their children perform. Oh, vomit. Oh, vomit. Oh, Laura, Bill's secretary, Susan, always on the... She's right there. He says she's the greatest, and here she is. She says, Letizia olive oil, Amazon sells it.
Really?
Somehow I think throughout the course of the show, somehow we'll be on something, and somehow olive oil is going to come back into the picture. Thank you, Laura.
My only concern about Amazon is that it might be old.
Oh, I don't know. So I'm not even going to ask. Never mind. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, freshness counts. That's all I'm saying. You don't want to buy like 2-year-old olive oil.
It's like not like wine.
Yeah, it'll turn a little bit.
Well, I do not have the kind of sophisticated palate that would note if it had turned. I know I don't. So I ain't spending money on stuff that I can't appreciate, that I don't get. Anyway, it says here that parents show up in T-shirts sometimes, like the guy wearing Josh's dad, the mom wearing Josh's mom. If I were Josh, I would disown them immediately. How can you be taken seriously at your place of employment if you're still having your parents come and watch you and cheer from the sideline? It makes me puke.
I can't imagine.
All across the country, it says here, parents are turning up at offices to see what their adult offspring do all day. And companies see it as a way to please young employees. What is with these young people?
Well, I mean, I can remember, I think, I met up with Dad at a convention. I was thinking that they might have come and seen my office in New York, but that would have been because it was really cool. I mean, it was, a cool place.
Yeah, but still, anyway,
No. And I think I've heard about, parents, I think a couple of years ago even, there was somebody writing something about how parents, when their children were applying for jobs, were inserting themselves in that process.
No, it's true. They are. Let's not even forget of it. Yeah. It absolutely.
I mean, how is your kid ever supposed to feel that they're capable of standing on their own 2 feet if you've been in there smoothing out the wrinkles before they walk down the velvet carpet?
I just leave them alone. Why don't these people understand that as a parent, you're supposed to push them out of the nest, not break their fall? You're supposed to let them go.
Yeah, and you can see them fly all the way from the ground.
Yeah, and you know what else? You
I
can
have
see
to tell
them
you,
at home.
I can sit back on my very own couch and see very clearly whether my children are doing well or not.
Jesus. Anyway. I really think it is creepy. Anyway. What else?
Well, what's creepy is the companies, well, I guess they're the same. The same people that would do it are the people that are running the company. So they
not necessarily.
Understand.
No, they're wanting to keep their employees. They're used to having parents call them and ask questions if their kid is going to accept a job there and stuff. I guess they're just used to this whole new crop that come with their parents. Jeez. This is another reason America. I got to tell you,
this is work for me.
Okay, and this is another reason America's going down, because we are raising generations of just soft people whose parents have not allowed them to experience life.
But what I'm concerned about is that also don't sort of understand that there's substance to things, because their world is so superficial and flitting. And so, not to bring it back to politics, but when I read, certain things, for example, on Facebook representing certain, what the noisy Democrats are currently saying, their dream team, includes Beto O'Rourke. And, I got to say, folks, I don't know when we just decided that there was absolutely no need for any kind of experience in the real world whatsoever to become one of the most powerful people in the world. I think that.
Well, he's been a congressman. I think Barack Obama did okay. Beto's not a total cipher. Suze.
Well,
he's not
just charming.
No, he's
People
more than
don't
charming.
know anything about him except that he answered 2 questions right.
No. But I do. I mean, no. He's been a congressman for what? How many years? He's served in D.C. He's not totally out of it, and I'll tell you who might be making a run. The guy from around here. Not this time. Next time around, is
Connor Lamb.
Connor Lamb.
Well, he'd be a good candidate.
Yeah. Well, I think what'll happen is he'll run for Senate against Pat Toomey when he comes up in 4 years. And from then being Senator Lamb, I think, he could be positioned at some point.
Well, I think that's I would just love to see someone moderate be able to get their way through. And, only because I'm looking for someone that's electable.
And that can maybe start pulling us back together.
And that can start pulling the country back together.
I don't know.
Well, you look at Arizona. Arizona is very interesting what's happened in Arizona.
Yep. And you know what's happened?
Because they've gone from red to blue. Their congressional delegation is now majority D instead of R for the first time, I don't know, ever.
Right. No, I don't know about forever, but yeah. And you know what else? You know what else Cinema's Win does? It makes Tammy Baldwin, Senator Baldwin from Wisconsin, is now not the only LGBTQ
right
woman senator or senator. I don't think, is there a male senator that's out? I don't think so. But Sinema is also, I think, identifies as whatever, queer or something.
Yeah, bi. I think is what she identifies.
Well, I think that's queer. Isn't that queer? Is bi queer? LGBT?
I don't know. I you know.
I know. I can't keep up either. I don't know either. I do too.
I think
so,
I read her described as bi. I assume that's what she put out.
Okay. So two of the female senators are not cis.
Well, I know. It sort of got me, wondering about this gender fluidity and stuff, and whether voters are more attracted to women that were comfortable in both roles, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I don't think that comes. I don't.
Well,
think that's part of it at all. I don't think it
the
figured.
Women that are finding success, maybe it's because they were already strong enough to deal with that publicly, that they're just
well, you got to be a strong woman to end up in the Senate. And
you do.
Oh God, you got to be a strong woman to end up pretty much anywhere.
Anywhere.
So I want to do 2 obits today. I got to acknowledge Stan Lee, who, I'm not I don't know. It's only because I have a son who loves, wasn't into comic books so much, but he appreciates these characters. And Stan Lee, I mean, his impact on popular culture is really mind-blowing. I mean, you look at some of the biggest movie franchises, and they stem from his work.
From Marvel Comics. Well, yeah, I mean, I think Disney bought him for something like $40 billion.
Really? So he's got, Spider-Man and Black Panther.
Marvel, which was, at least partially him.
Oh, yeah, no, it was. It was him.
Yeah.
Black Panther, the Amazing Hulk. I mean, all of those are his. And what I've learned by reading his obits is that he did something revolutionary. These characters, these were cardboard figures. They didn't have any sort of human qualities, and that's what he did. He gave them neuroses. He gave them self-doubt. He gave them measures of humanity, which made them much more compelling figures. And that was a big revolutionary thing he did. He also was clearly a liberal. And so the politics of these cartoons and our comics and the ensuing movies actually have a real humanity underlying them, I think. And I want to point out, if you've ever read the book, guys, I recommend it. I think did it win a Pulitzer? Cavalier, The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay. It's by Pittsburgh's own Michael Chabon, and it is a novelized account of essentially Stan Lee and others and what they did creating this comic book industry. It was the creation mostly of immigrant Jews, as he was. I mean, his parents were named Lieber, and his name was Stanley Lieber. And then when he had to make a name, he just took his first name and split it in two. Stan Lee.
Lee.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, Cavalier, The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay. It's a great read. However, I have one more obituary. Douglas Rain. Rain. I'll give you a hint. Daisy, I started too loud. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer true.
Do. I'm half crazy off of the likes of you.
Love of you.
It
It won't be a stylish marriage. I can't afford a carriage.
Can't afford a carriage,
but you'll
but
look
we'll
great.
look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two.
You don't know what I'm...
He built the bicycle built for two.
No!
What? He wrote the song?
No. Douglas Rain was the voice of the computer HAL in 2001, A Space
Oh, you were
Odyssey.
doing HAL. I didn't get it.
I was doing his death scene.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I missed it as Hal's death scene. I apologize.
Answer true. Yeah, one of the better death scenes in cinema. That's the second time I've said cinema today, although this one's spelled differently. He was the voice. He was also a renowned Shakespearean actor, and he didn't think anything of doing this voice, and he did it in an afternoon or something, and he never saw the movie. He thought it seemed pretty stupid. Actually, the whole movie had been done and edited and everything, and Kubrick still didn't have a voice. I mean, he'd used other people. Martin Balsam, the actor Martin Balsam, had done the voice,
right,
and just seemed not quite right. They thought of using a female voice. That wasn't quite right. They used other actors to do the lines so that, the other actors would have somebody to play off of. But they put the movie together, and Kubrick was still couldn't figure out what Hal should sound like. And then he remembered seeing a documentary about astronomy in Canada, and the narration, he remembered this narrator's voice. It was Douglas Rain.
So beautiful. Right.
It was Douglas Rain. And Douglas Rain said, wow, that Canadian documentary was such a low-budget thing that we used ping pong balls as planets, and the sun was played by a tomato. But he said it came off as very impressive on the screen. But
let that be a lesson to you, folks.
The sun
Don't believe everything you see.
The sun was played by a tomato. I just love the idea of it. So anyway, Kubrick remembered the voice, and the rest is history. However, the obit says that the voice and its appeal might be that Douglas Rain is a Canadian, and his voice, the dialect essentially that he speaks in, is what is called standard Canadian English. And stop and think of all the American, actually, anchors, news anchors. Peter Jennings was one. All the American anchors, I come up with one.
That's the only one I could come up with.
No, wait, I swear. I swear there were more. Anyway, but Americans love that dialect. It is standard Canadian English. And it says, people who know about such things say, the vowels, the way they pronounce their vowels doesn't give them away. But I disagree because Jennings said he had a little bit of that oat.
Yeah.
I think he had a little bit of that. Anyway, two other quick little things about Doug.
And there's a couple words different, like the difference between process and process. They cut the syllables at different places in certain words. But go ahead.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. That's another line.
Well, that one I would have gotten.
Well, it was so menacing. I mean, it was so sort of. The American Film Institute once put a list together of the 50 greatest movie villains. And Hal came in at number 13.
He scared me so terribly because I just didn't want to see what I knew I was going to see.
Well,
being untethered in space is, for some reason, one of my deadly fears.
I don't think you'll have to worry about it, Frank.
Well, that's a useful one for that reason. I can cross it off my list.
Yeah. So, also, Woody Allen used the guy 5 years later as another he had a computer in his movie Sleeper, and he asked Raines to do it. So, I mean, he thought, who can do a computer voice? Who did Kubrick get? And so he got him, and I guess Raines did that too. Anyway, so that's all and more than you ever wanted to know about the voice of Hal. Although I thought that death scene, I mean, he might have been a villain, but I thought that was one of the saddest death scenes.
Well, it's the first time that you're thinking, well, he's just fighting for his life.
Oh. And that he had
an
emotional.
Straight there, folks. So.
Yeah, I know. And he had an emotional. I don't know. And I have to tell you, I happened to see that movie again. I don't know, maybe about a year ago. And I must say, what the fuck does it mean? I don't understand that movie. What the hell is that movie about? What is that thing? Why is the guy in the white room, what the hell is that movie? With fetuses floating around and
well, remember the timing of that movie. I think you were supposed to be discovering altering substances at the same time that you were watching.
Well, it came out, I think, in 69. 69,
yeah,
I think.
See, I rest my case.
But I mean, really, I don't know what the hell it meant. I was with people at dinner last night, and that came up, and none of us knew what it meant. And some even acknowledged that, frankly, they didn't even like the goddamn movie. And I have to tell you that at the end, it's endless. It's endless. It goes on and on and on with all these what now look like to be really stupid psychedelic effects. And all
well, that's because you were supposed to be ripped when you were watching it.
So that's a movie I'm never going to watch again.
Don't you think?
I guess. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, those are my obits. How we doing? We made it halfway through without getting into anything.
We have?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Cool.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Anything else we can talk about? Because I don't watch Dancing with the Stars anymore.
Oh, that is the stupidest show.
Well, there aren't. They just
There's
flat
no
out
stars.
ran out of stars.
There's no fight. Who are these people? Jeez.
The pros are now the stars.
No, they've gone from B list to X list. I mean, you can't even who. Oh, this guy did a car commercial in Paducah. I don't know. You don't know who any of them are. But actually, Susan, if you're looking at like the tabloids when you're checking out of the grocery store, you don't know any of those people either.
No, I know. I don't know any of the people. If you like pick up an Us magazine and you're looking at all of the stars wearing their dresses as you sit in that line, and I'm going, well, who
Who's
are
that?
all of these stars other than they're people with really big heads on really teeny bodies?
But that's always been the case. Do you know
I
who
know,
has?
but they're getting bigger.
Yeah,
I
but
swear.
you know
some
who
of these women.
I know, Susan. Here's the woman who totally exemplifies. It's not just women; it's the men too. A lot of them. I got two examples, and next time you see them, check it out. These are both TV examples, so you don't have to be Hollywood to have that look. The NBC reporter married to the former Fed chair, Alan Greenspan.
Oh, Judy,
Andrea Mitchell.
Andrea Mitchell, she is all head. Her head is bigger than her shoulders.
Her head is half of her body weight. There is no doubt about that. It is like, it's frightening looking. I mean, actually, if you look, it looks like
it's getting worse as she gets older. She seems to be her body seems to be totally disappearing, and her head's getting bigger.
So there's just this head, and then this little teeny, skinny little body. And that is what, a lot of these women look like. And
remember, the television adds 15 pounds, and now we're body shaming.
That's okay. Let's be politically incorrect.
This is about heads.
Okay,
it's just about heads.
Okay, and then for the men, you know who looks like that? Again, for Wheel of Fortune, Pat Sajak. Pat Sajak has a head, and then there's this tiny little body. It's the same. It's the male equivalent. If you put Andrea Mitchell with Pat Sajak, you would have like some bizarre Ken and Barbie kind of thing going. I mean, it's like bodies that don't.
Talking heads, but it really.
Ugh.
It's amazing. So that's all I see. I don't. But getting back to the point, no, I don't.
There was a point. What was the point?
I don't know who any of these people are.
Oh, right. No, I don't either. We have a caller. Can you imagine that?
Cool.
Okay. Hey. Hello.
Okay, kids, let's take a break from making fun of celebrities and talk a little more about Stanley Kubrick. Oh, Susan, you are so right. I think all of his films, you have to be on an acid trip. What about the last one he made before he died? That
what was
crazy, bizarre, eyes wide shut.
Oh,
some sort
God.
Of sex orgy with
Nicole
Cruise.
Kidman and Tom Cruise. I hated that. What was that?
It was, okay, look, I'm going to say it. The only good movie Stanley Kubrick
Clockwork
ever made
Orange.
was
No. Was on the West.
1962.
No.
Everything else is just total garbage.
Which one? No, the Western Front. He did a war movie that was amazing.
Is that good?
Yes, I think it is.
Oh,
All Quiet on the Western Front?
I watched that in high school. My history teacher made me watch the Western Front in high school, and I fell asleep. I fell asleep during 2001. Clockwork Orange, he ruined the book. Dr. Strangelove was okay, but you don't want to rewatch it. The Shining, he ruined the book. You know, every film he made was pretty awful, except for Lolita, as far as I'm concerned. But
see, I forgot.
But you just
Lolita?
like the material.
You like, yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, he did not. That was from a book.
He didn't deface the material, right?
Oh my God! Please, come on.
So okay, anyway, so you didn't, yeah. No, I just. Do you know what 2001 meant?
No, I saw it when I was a kid, and I rewatched it and tried to figure it out, and even I watched on acid, and I still couldn't figure it out. So that doesn't.
Well, if you can't figure it on acid, that's it. We rest our case. I don't even think Kubrick knew what it meant. It is boring.
Totally boring. I was like, I want to go out and romp around. What is going on with this thing? There's people walking around in white clothes and saying nothing.
I know.
Dumb. Totally dumb. And the people that worship at Stanley Kubrick, oh, what a great filmmaker. Fuck them. They're stupid. Show me one good film he made besides Lolita. Well, you told me the Western Front.
All Quiet on the Western Front, I believe, is his. Yes, and I think, I think that's a pretty
right. It is All
film.
Quiet at the Western Front. It's Hemingway.
All Quiet on.
Well, I was forced to watch that, as I said, in high school, and I was like, oh, okay, so our history teacher has a World War II fetish. Okay, blah blah blah, and it was kind of gory and kind of interesting, but I still fell asleep.
Well, you strike me as somebody.
It's like being told to get into therapy. It doesn't work that way. You have to come to movies with an open heart.
No, I think generally when teachers...
I know. And I was also maybe on some mind-altering substances during that class as well. So.
Yeah, it was high school, right.
Honest to Pete. All right. But you're still here, Michael. Good for you. All right. Thank you.
Hey, love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.
He's the lead singer for a punk band called the Cynics, who are big in Europe.
Really?
Yeah. When he's here, he's in Polish Hill. But for some reason, his music was never... The Cynics never, got what they should have in their hometown. But, man, I know Spain especially just loves them. They're over there all the time.
Well, what could be bad about that?
Yeah, well, there you go. Okay, here's something that gives us a break. Things that I don't think we have any in our family, but a friend of mine shared one with me the other day, and it's something her family says when they don't want to deal with whatever is happening. Like if somebody says, well, I don't want to go there because the response in their family is, can't hear you, got pants on.
Okay, I'm trying to unpack that, as it were.
It makes no
probably
sense.
Not the right thing to say.
No, it makes no sense.
It means that if you're a man, I'm gonna behave like a man and not hear anything.
Can't hear you, got pants on. Oh, you're saying that men are selectively deaf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it can be. Can't hear you, got pants on.
It might just be a nonsense thing.
Yeah, she swears she thinks it came from Pee Wee Herman and his show. But she's not sure about that. Anyway.
No, I think I've heard that. Well, maybe it did, but my guess is it's an old nonsense saying that Pee Wee used.
Can't hear you, got pants on?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to...
Can't hear you, got pants on. You can hear Herman saying it.
I just want to point that out because someone said it to me and I said, what? Can't hear. Got
we should try that next Tuesday. Anytime you don't want me to see, you'll just say, can't hear you, got pants on.
Yeah. Can't hear you, got pants on.
If I try and talk about Foxconn, just throw it right in.
Yeah, okay. If you bring up Foxconn, can't hear you, got pants on. Okay. Okay, I hate to do this because it is heading into, anyway, heavier stuff. Unless someone wants to save us with something. We haven't had a...
We're gonna have to talk about stuff? Okay.
Well, no, something that got sort of, lost. Everything seems to get lost around, because of the, the
daily outrage?
No, the orange one, just sort of, sopping up all the... Hey, by the way, I'm assuming you guys saw that CNN is suing
them.
The White House. And suing everybody, suing the president, suing the chief of staff,
and Maryland is suing
Schein,
about
and Maryland's suing about Whitaker
under the appointments clause about
Whitaker.
the AG.
Yeah. And the guy who's acting as the attorney for CNN, why am I all of a sudden blanking on his name? Oh, Ted Olson, who, as you know, I think it's Ted Olson, who won Bush v. Gore. So,
right.
And he's definitely a Republican.
No constitutional slouch, right? No.
Right.
I mean, the fact of the matter is a lot of these things are just so amazing. I can't believe it's taking this long some of them to wend their way through courts. Like why we haven't gotten to court on, all the way to hearing the case on the emollients clause yet. I don't get. That one's been in the works almost since day one.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. It's had some losses.
And, they've been found to have standing. They keep throwing up these things, and they've gotten through all these hurdles. So my
Well,
fingernails are drumming on the table, sort of.
Yeah, it's the speedy wheels of American justice.
Justice, yeah.
No, did you see, so one of the things the president gets to do is hand out the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's a big...
Oh, sure. She isn't, and she's so deserving.
So you do know about it. You know who he's
Yeah,
giving the
what's in it?
Presidential Medal of Freedom to? The friggin' wife of Sheldon Adelson, the Las Vegas creepo tycoon with a comb over as bad as Trump's, who has personally given Trump and the Republican Party billions, I think, of dollars. And so he's using the friggin' Presidential Medal of Freedom as payback to Sheldon Adelson by giving his wife the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which so devalues it. You cannot find, if somebody comes up with a list of all the people who have had the Presidential Medal of Freedom, nobody has been given it like this. She is undeserving. It is to be given to, in acknowledgement of extraordinary achievement or public service. Now, I think the way Trump thinks is she's getting it for public service because...
Right, by getting me.
Right, by helping me get elected. And so he is... well, okay. I just... you just can't stand it.
Okay, pace yourself. You started talking about this, and within 30 seconds, your blood pressure is already up. I can tell about 100 points.
I hope not. I think it was high to start.
Did you see the thing that's going around the World Wide Web, which is a picture of Trump with wet hair hanging over his face, and it's showing his bald pate with just these silly long, orange locks hanging over his eyes.
Is it a real picture? No, it's not a real picture.
No, the real reason he can't go out in the rain.
Well, but that is the reason. What a disgusting human being. We have a caller? I didn't even realize that. I'm sorry. They just called? Okay. We have a caller. Hello? Caller?
Yeah, Clarence from Canonsburg.
Why did I know?
Hey,
Okay.
Clarence, I figured you'd take pity on us.
Well, I originally called for a joke, of course. Adelson, what were the two reasons for his wife to get the Medal of Freedom?
Well, I mean, you're supposed to have extraordinary achievement.
It was flat out that she was a big donor.
Yeah, but why are they usually given out?
Extraordinary achievement, like in the arts or whatever.
There
or
you
sport.
go. Extraordinary achievement. She slept with Adelson. So that's obvious.
That's service to the country, right?
It's an extraordinary achievement.
Oh.
Nothing that a little fentanyl can cure. Okay, go on, Clarence.
No, not to talk about inside baseball, but Lynn, that Susan's a friend of mine on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I had posted this. I don't know if you've talked about it because I just came in about 10 minutes ago. This it was a Twitter rant by a woman who said, whose argument was that men were 100% responsible for unwanted pregnancies. And I thought it was just so good that I agreed with it.
You did,
right? And I did too.
Yeah. I was curious if you've seen it, Lynn. That's basically.
No, I have not seen it. Is it long? Yeah.
It's too long for your radio show.
Okay.
But it's not too long to read.
Well,
but her argument was basically that men ejaculating irresponsibly is what causes unwanted pregnancies. And then she goes to a whole litany of stuff, and I've been putting it. I want the thing to go viral. I've been putting it everywhere, anywhere I could. I've been putting it, and I'm arguing with guys and women. The whole "it takes two, the tango" thing, and and I said, you're missing the point. Everybody's missing that point of irresponsible ejaculation thing. Everybody's missing it.
Okay.
Yeah, and but I wanted to go viral because this whole abortion issue thing comes up, and I think her arguments are great.
Okay. Well,
And here's the thing: she's a Mormon woman with 6 children.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe she's more than a little bitter about that. Do you think about that, Clarence?
I didn't think about that, but her religion is more men.
No, it's not. Have you seen the Declaration?
No, only Caribbeans need apply.
Okay.
You almost made me do a stick tape with my coffee with that one.
And welcome to the Susan and Clarence Show. I'm taking a break.
Well, bad puns. They
Okay.
said, there was I don't know if you guys talked about this, a study done that said that the youngest in the family tend to be the most funny.
You said that before, too. Or Susan did.
Susan
Susan did.
I never
It's more
explained that.
fucking repetition going on here.
I'm not the youngest. I have 2 younger sisters. I'm not the youngest in my family, although I am the funniest. So I just proved the point.
Well, I don't think I am. I think all 3 of the Millers have very quick wits.
Yeah. And where do you guys think that comes from? Is it
survival in our house? Where do you think it comes from?
Yeah, exactly. It's not just my house; it's my neighborhood.
Yeah, right. Survival. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
No, well, my brother was really clear about it. He said that he ran fast in case the jokes were landing flat. So your first line of defense was to disarm them and make you like you. And if that wasn't working, then you better be fast.
You run.
He held Wisconsin records in long-distance running, really, for a very long time.
Susan, that's not true.
It is true. He ran this
middle distance. That's middle distance,
That's
and
not
I don't
long
think
distance.
that's not long distance.
Sprint. He ran the longest sprints. That's
But
what
I
meant.
don't think he might have held a record for a day or 2. But I don't think.
All right. Well, my
Wait a minute.
hyperbole aside, it's
Hold on here.
not the point.
Wait a second.
See, this
What
is.
year was this?
You gonna
She was
look it up?
Winning sprints.
Well, it would be like 1964, 1963, 1964. Check out Wisconsin records in.
Up to 65, because up to
No,
64.
no. He
right,
graduated in
right,
64.
Right, up to right.
Honest to Pete. Listen to the 2 of you.
I'm sorry, but that line, only Jamaicans need a ply or whatever she said was just hilarious. It's more Mon.
Yeah, but you didn't. But
You did it better than me, Clarence. You may have
did.
that line.
You did.
And I will steal it too.
But the reason I said that,
Not
I give
stealing,
up.
I'm
I just
gifting it
give
to
up.
you.
Oh, okay. All right.
The
I'll take
church,
credit for it.
the Mormon
feel free.
church came out with their big the poobah at the top, whoever he is.
Right, Latter-day Saints. We are
Said
no longer
that
the
well,
Mormons.
you are not to call it the Mormon. It's out. That's out. You cannot call the people Mormons. You can't use the word Mormon.
Well, that's why Clarence and I are illustrating why.
Yes, exactly.
You go and try and make that joke about the Church of Latter-day Saints.
The Church of Latter-day Saints of Jesus Christ, I believe, is the
that would be in honor of firemen.
Wait a minute.
Latter-day Saints.
Oh,
I got it.
You guys. Okay, stop it. Just all right. I can take just so much. Is that what? Are you done with your call, Clarence, or did you call with something
Yes,
else?
I'm done. When the puns get that bad, it's time for me to
Yeah, I
walk
think
out.
so too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, my God. So what are the two, poor Amy here has to put up on, Facebook and stuff what the show's about. Amy, I think you just have to say.
It's easy, Amy. Just put up. We talked about nothing for an hour, but it was very amusing.
No, put up olive oil and irresponsible ejaculation. I think that'll sum it up.
That should do it. They'll make inappropriate.
All right,
they'll
stop.
What?
Just stop.
Okay. You're the one that said it, Lynn.
Well, but okay. Well, I should have kept Clarence. You two could have finished out the show.
Yeah, you should have. I don't know
right.
what you were thinking. Well, it's your show. We only have 5 minutes. Surely we can come up with something for. We haven't, floundered about like this. I don't think in years.
Floundered. What? We're not
foundered.
We're not. Oh
Flounder
my God!
is a fish,
all
isn't
of
it?
a sudden, I got all this mail. Where was it? Wait, it's our emailers who will save us. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't see any of these emails.
Okay, take it away. Email.
All right. Well, hang on. All right, Milton. Damn it. To my knowledge, he says Kubrick never directed All Quiet on the Western Front.
I was wondering about that myself, but you're the one that brought it up.
Oh, that's it. No, I was thinking of, he directed a World War I drama called Paths of Glory, which is fantastic. That's the one I was thinking of. Starring Kirk Douglas as a French officer. As a matter of fact, that's the movie that, what's his name, David Brooks' column today in the New York Times references Paths of Glory, that he saw it and he was blown away by what a great movie it was. That's what I meant, Paths of Glory. It's a great movie. Okay, thank you very much. And Milton says,
for effort.
in my opinion, his greatest directorial effort was in the 1960s, Spartacus. That's also Kirk Douglas. He liked Kirk Douglas. Beth writes, I just worked on this movie. What movie? Okay, wait. Oh, I think she means, I just worked on this movie. Right, because she does work on movies. I just worked on this movie, and this young man came into my office and said, hello, I am Pete Dave so-and-so's assistant. I must have looked at him with the face of who the fuck's that. He then gave me a look and said, he's one of the lead actors, Pete, whatever he is, in this film, he said in a very indignant tone. I said, I'm sorry, and I sure blushed a bit with embarrassment. With all the new forms of media, the turnover of the newly famous is at hyperspeed these days. So no worries if you and Susan don't know these people. Hell, I don't know them, and I work in the business. Well, who the hell was Pete? Tell us that you still don't remember his name. I am Pete Dave so-and-so. Who's Dave so? Beth. Dave who? We won't know.
Well,
All right.
Not saying.
Oh, I see. She's not wanting to get herself in trouble or something. Okay. Michael, the Kubrick caller, just to put a button on this, I hate that phrase. I never even heard that phrase. Have you?
Go ahead. Yes, what?
You have heard that phrase? Just to put a button on this?
No, I don't think so.
Oh. But I think Paths of Glory was Kubrick's war film. All right, it was. But that's what I was thinking of, and it's a great movie. And he says, I'm so glad we're talking about this kind of shit today. Yeah, look, it is true. We've laughed through most of the show. Thank God. Okay. Oh, wait, I got more on olive oil here. Oh, Barbara says only 11 left in stock on Amazon. they're shit.
Oh, no, I'm causing a run on the pizza.
Yeah, they're gone now. It's over. And Kate said, I just did a food tour of Lawrenceville on Saturday. And this Greek market had really good olive oil that they import from Greece. Okay. And that was at Salonica.net. So,
yeah, it's just sort of interesting when you actually bother to taste them and taste sort of good ones. They taste very different, and you can see are better for one thing over another. But, who knows?
Oh, this is good. I know we're over time. Do you have to? I'll do a quick. Milton also sent me Stan Lee on. He would put this stuff on the back of his comics, I think, and it was called Stan's Soapbox, and he would just put it out there. And this is one of them. Let's lay it right on the line. Bigotry and racism are among the deadliest social ills plaguing the world today. But unlike a team of costume supervillains, they can't be halted with a punch in the snoot or a zap from a ray gun. The only way to destroy them is to expose them, to reveal them for the insidious evils they really are. The bigot is an unreasoning hater, one who hates blindly, fanatically, indiscriminately. If his hang-up is black men, he hates all black men. If a redhead once offended him, he hates all redheads. If some foreigner beat him to a job, he's down on all foreigners. Boy, is he right on the money on this. He hates people he's never even seen, people he's never known, with equal intensity, with equal venom. Now, we're not trying to say it's unreasonable for a human being to bug another, but although anyone has the right to dislike... Okay, so he goes on. He would put this on the comics, on the comics. Yeah. Isn't that wonderful?
Mm-hmm.
So he was and he ends at Pax et Justitia. I don't know how to pronounce Latin, but peace.
Peace and justice.
That's right. Clearly, peace and justice. And he had ended it then, whatever. Well, never mind. But wow, thank you for that. A slightly more sober ending, just to show we're capable of sobriety. Okay. And thanks, Suze.
You're welcome. Sorry that I don't know.
No, you're not sorry. Sorry for anything.
Be serious today.
Well, that's good. It's quite all right. We are. I think most people are most appreciative, and it's Paths of Glory. Please, no, it is such a great movie. It's a hard movie. It's hard to watch. It's a great movie. That's Kubrick's best, without a doubt. I has spoken. See you guys. Bye. Bye, Suze.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.